So you're probably stuck, right? You've got a lot going on in your life. You've got kids, you've got a job or tough family behind you, and you're struggling, right? You can't find time for yourself. And you doom scroll and you comfort yourself on social media, food as well, but you see things on Reels and TikTok and you think, oh, let me try this, let me try that. It doesn't work. So you try something else and the weight just doesn't come off you, right? And you get frustrated and you're thinking, maybe those family members were right. Maybe I can't lose weight and my job here is just to serve everyone, to serve the kids, and then I can look after myself when I'm freaking 70. No, okay? We have dealt with this kind of scenario umpteen times over the last decade, all right? And I can tell you easily that you can still lose weight. The approach just needs to change. Now, in my experience, when it comes to losing weight, it's just the approach needs to be tweaked a little bit. The law of thermodynamics, which is the thing for weight loss, okay? So to lose weight, yes, calories matter. There's no denying that. You can't keep blaming hormones and your genetics, right? Calories do matter, but how you go about creating that deficit will differ. And this is where you need to kind of not listen to the noise, especially when it comes to social media. So what I mean by that is people are being told that they need to try this body type quiz, or they need to try this belly busting South Asian plan, or, you know, a test to check for your DNA or all this crap, right? No, at the end of the day, you need to find an approach that you can stick to daily. Now, what I have done with clients in the past, and we've just had a client recently actually, who's been achieving great success, and she can only exercise, and it's sad that it needs to be like this, right? But she can only exercise when the kids are sleeping and out of sight from her in-laws, and she does it in her room. She locks the door. She doesn't want anyone to know, which obviously is a situation I just wish didn't have to exist, but it does. So she trains twice a week, okay, just 2 times a week, on a Saturday and a Sunday, right? That's the time that she has in the evening to herself as she exercises, and she does this like a 20 to 30 minute routine that I've set up for her. Now, that's the first thing to highlight here is you do not need a fancy gym. You do not need to do long, arduous, mundane workouts. Just 2 or 3 sessions at home, if you can, will do the job. However, what I have seen, and there's a trend in, you know, a lot of people, is those who have a lot going on in their life, they tend to use food as a crutch, which I kind of understand. So you just want to make sure that the easiest thing that you can do, right? The easiest thing you can do to lose weight in the first couple of weeks, reduce the supply of junk food going in. Now, why is that important? Well, because from my experience, when I've seen people cut the junk food down, they save themselves anywhere between 300 to 500 calories. And I mentioned that in a previous episode as well. People can save anywhere up to 300 to 500 calories, which is a hell of a lot. In fact, if you remove that junk food, you are in a caloric deficit. So strictly speaking, you don't need to change your food. You don't need to change your diet or anything like that. You could just eat what you're eating and just remove the junk food and you will lose weight. But herein lies a problem. No one is willing to give it longer than 10 or 14 days. All right, people want to do it for a week and then they want to see the stomach shrink, right? It doesn't work that way. So if you're in a position just now where you have a lot going on, there's only just 2 things you can do, okay? So the first thing is, if you can get some exercise and you can follow a YouTube video, you can do anything. Do not be confused by coaches, including myself, that you see on social media who tell you you need to have structured gym workouts that are 4 workouts a week and they need to be an hour long or whatever. No, none of that, right? You can just follow a YouTube workout, and I know I don't really like a lot of these YouTube channels, but if you've not exercised before, a YouTube workout will do the job. Just do it, all right? Like, just get the body moving. That's the first thing. And the second thing, reduce your junk food, okay? By doing so, you're going to save yourself some calories. And what I tend to see a lot is eyeballs being on you, you know, if you live with in-laws particularly, which is a sucky situation, and I wish it didn't exist. I wish people just minded their own damn business. But what I've seen a lot with our clients in the past is they say to me, you know, I don't want to store a lot of foods in the fridge, or I don't want to do lots of meal prep because it's going to invite questions. And I'm like, why should it? But I get it, right? So, you know, when it comes to creating that deficit, don't worry about meal prep. Don't worry about buying the protein shakes and people nosying on what you've ordered and they're looking through the meal box to see what it is. No, forget that. Just cut your junk food out. Meal prep later, okay? Just cut your junk food out, cut that supply of energy. Because here's a little insight when we bring clients on, we don't give them a diet to follow. We just say to them, all I want to do with you is I just want to understand your lifestyle, and for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'm just going to remove the junk food, even just cut it down by half. I want to see what impact that has. And the number one thing they say to me is, hey, I feel lighter. Like, I kid you not, everyone says, I feel lighter, I feel good. And I say, brilliant. Because we don't even need to do anything else here. We don't need to get your steps up yet. Yeah, we don't need to increase your protein and your fiber, none of that. Right now, all we've done is we've reduced your junk food, not increased. And because of that, you've cut that supply off. So your body normally is used to eating all this junk food. Now, it's not. Now it's thinking, right, what the hell is going on here? We're normally used to having all these sugars and these calories, and then it's going to look around the body for an alternative fuel source, and that's basically what a caloric deficit is. It's a gap. It's a negative energy gap, basically, right? So if you can just do that, it's going to work wonders for you. Now I want to share one more tip with you, and this is extremely beneficial, okay? And you're already doing this, but you're probably not paying enough attention to it. Steps are important, but do not overthink it, okay? So many people will always ask me, you know, whenever I do a reel, or even with some clients, they'll always say to me, how many steps should I do? And should it be fast? Should it be an incline? Should it be? No, your steps, what you accumulate over the course of the whole day is all that matters, right? It does not have to be 10k steps done 2 hours, all done in 2 hours where you're walking up a hill and down and you need to be sweating and your legs need to be sore. None of that. Your steps can literally be 20 minutes in the morning, an hour later in the day, 4 minutes later in the evening, and then 3 minutes, before you go to bed. I don't care how you do it. It's the accumulation of steps over the course of the whole day is what matters. Now, why is this important? Because as you guys probably know, when it comes to calorie burning, your workouts are only around 30 to 45 minutes, right? So I think anywhere between 5 to 10% is your workouts, whereas your movement is a hell of a lot more because you're moving throughout the whole day. So when we get clients who are moving, what they're doing is they're basically batching their moving. So when they do the housework and they do the cleaning and stuff, it's usually kind of like in that morning time where perhaps the kids are at school, so they'll have from 9 till 2 or whatever it might be to do all their movement and their steps because they're cleaning the house, and then they pick up the kids. Usually they pick them up in a car. If you can walk, it'll be excellent. They get home, and then from like 4 till the evening time, they're not moving as much, and generally kind of what's happened is you're batching all your steps early, and you're only maybe getting like 3,000 to 4,000 steps, and then towards the end of the evening it kind of just tapers down a little bit. What you want to do is you want to distribute it as much as you can. Okay, that's very important. When we've done that with clients, we found that they're not getting burnt out as much, and they're actually finding it quite easy to manage. So they're getting increments of steps throughout the whole day. They get to the end of the evening and they feel pretty decent. They don't feel worn out. They don't feel tired. And that in itself is the greatest chemical concoction to lose weight. And what it means is you don't have to worry about people, not that it's anyone's business, but having eyeballs on you and questions and stuff. You're doing things that are pretty low key and you're able to sustain it, and you don't have to worry about other things. Okay, so just doing those very, very simple things. Again, I'm going to say this again for the 10th time. I wish I didn't have to do something like this, but it will help. I'm hoping it will help someone out there. If you are in a situation and you just feel like you're being judged and looked at and picked on, etc., and you want to work in silence and prove someone wrong, that is what you can do. You can do those things in silence. No one's even going to notice. All right. If you found that helpful, do let me know. All right, there's plenty of other content that we've got on the channel as well. If you're listening to this in the podcast, for example, do check out the show notes. There's a link there. You can check out some freebies as well. And if you want my help and the team to help you, then definitely check out the link below. There's a couple of links you can check out to see how we can help you get those awesome results. I'll catch you guys in the next video.